It to Adam Live, who was just a pace or two in from the discs on the offside at extra cover. Live with a comfortable enough catch. And Yorkshire very much in the box seat here as Joe Clark goes for 6. Faced just 3 balls. Ben Duckett on his way out to the middle. Notts have lost 2 of their big guns. Hales and Clark both back in the shed. Duckett, left-hander of course, arrives in the middle. Only had 11 balls of this innings, 16 for 2. Like the previous shot which went for 4, Clark really gave that a good wallop, but ball was hit in the air and straight to the man. So Duckett's taken guard. Root back in at slip. And offsets Fisher. Past umpire Ramage. Bowls chopped to backward point. End of the over. Successful one for Matthew Fisher. Successful one for Yorkshire. Same stage. The visitors were 13 with Outlaws. Notts are 16 for 2, but they're 2 big wickets. Hales and Clark, Nash and Duckett are at the crease at the moment. There's still a little bit of ammunition to come with Moore's, Christian, Mullaney and Patel, but that's a massive blow that's been struck in the early stages of this innings by Yorkshire as Jonathan Doidge comes back to join me.
And Joe Root comes back in, or comes into the Yorkshire attack, I should say, for the first time in the afternoon. So yeah, a couple of big wickets while I was doing my update next door. Alex Hales and Joe Clark with that ton, of course, as well. So first ball from Root. Chris Nash tries to get it away on the leg side, thick inside edge into his feet, I think it was, and Tattersall cleans up. So dot ball, Root in again. Bowling is off spin, lofted this time by Chris Nash and over the top of Adam Lyth, who gives chase away down towards the pavilion end. They're going to get back for a comfortable 2. Matthew Fisher with a pretty good first over. Boundaries, but a wicket, and of course he got 3 for yesterday. Very much good to see him back for Yorkshire yesterday after another injury. And the short ball here is dispatched by Chris Nash. Excellent shot there. Used every bit of time he was afforded by Joe Root, who dropped the ball short into the pitch. Don't bowl that filth at me was the sort of feeling about the shot. Just dismissive backward a point for 4. Not Joe Root's finest hour with the ball, but he's having another go here. 22 for 2, and that's better. And pushed back to the bowler by Nash, who's 12 from 9 in the early moments here for Notts. Root again, getting through this over quickly. That's going to be a leg side wide though this time. It's marginal, isn't it? But once it goes down that side, you know what's going to happen. The umpire's arms raised horizontally. 23 for 2. Still 2 to come in the third. Root in again. Nash, thick inside edge, goes out backward of square. Fisher in off the boundary, bounces it into Tattersall.
I'll turn it down. The reason I'm almost toppling out the window is that light aeroplane going over. It's trailing a banner. It's gone over the ground, but almost over our heads at the Radcliffe Road end. But it's trailing a banner with a message, and I don't know if it's for the cricketers or, you know, it's perhaps happy birthday, mum and dad, or, you know, or whatever. But one or two of the players are looking up. Yeah. It was trailing a banner which said something, but I just from here we couldn't see what it said.
Root switches around the wicket to the left-handed Duckett. That's a good piece of fielding there because that was boundary bound. It was Will Frame with a diving stop to his right. And that was a certain 4 if it had gone by. But Duckett has to be content with none off 2. End of the third over, and the Outlaws 24 for 2.
Yeah, they're behind at this stage. They were ahead after 2 overs. Is it going to come back? I don't know where. Well, it is going to come back, but we can't see it. He's flying too close to the Radcliffe Road end, so we can't see because of the overhang here of the gantry above our heads. But he's definitely trailing a banner of some description. It's going to be Matthew Fisher, 24 for 2. Same stage Yorkshire were 28 with Outlaws. Real blow, losing Hales and Clark in the opening couple of overs. Fisher, his first over, went for 9. Bowles hit away on the leg side. Just have a look at the umpire. I think there was some bat involved. It was in the air for what? No, he's going to tap it. So no danger there. Leg by 25 for 2. So let's just fill some of the gaps here for Nottinghamshire supporters. Jonathan, Josh Poisden we're likely to see a leg spinner. Matt Pillans, medium fast. George Hill, I don't know.
George Hill will bowl again medium, just on the fast side of medium. Matthew Pillans will be the quicker, definitely.
25 for 2. Next ball. Oh, is it Duckett amidships somewhere? They don't get a they don't get a run, but the ball had come back on the cut strip, and Matt Fisher, who'd scampered down there trying to stop the run, decided to kick it towards the stumps, and he did kick it nicely onto the stumps and then celebrated like he'd scored a goal. And talking of football, Des Oldham says, I live on Collick Road, Dave. It says Leeds United are champions, we are going up.
He's a big Leeds United fan, Matthew Fisher.
Is the next one squirted away on the offside? Yeah, Outlaw Chris says Leeds United are going up, or something like that. Yeah, James Spring's seen it as well. So there you are. They're flying it over the ground, obviously deliberately for the Yorkshire players to see, and no doubt that's why they were all looking skywards and nodding approval.
On the ball in front, you're also likely to see Harry Brook, who got his first T20 wicket yesterday and celebrated like it was his 500th.
Fisher bowls, Duckett away onto the offside. Should be cut off, and will be. They're going to come back for 2. Who's that down there, a million miles away from us, down near the Batman board?
It is George Hill.
Number 18.
But yeah, Harry Brook's celebration yesterday. Yeah, honestly, you would have thought... You'd have thought he'd got Viv Richards, Brian Lara, you name all the great players out, Bradman out in one delivery put together.
27 for 2. Duckett's on 2 then with those runs. He's clipped this one away. It's partially stopped there by Josh Poisden. They'll come back for 2. They contemplated a third but won't get it.
Yeah, good recovery in the end from Josh Poisden to keep them to just one more run. They were going to get the single anyway.
Graham Rowley now. Apparently David says Leeds United are the champions, we are going up. Wonder how much that costs. I don't mean to be champions and to go up, but I mean
that costs a lot more than the banner will do.
29 for 2. I was going to say there's another aeroplane going over, but there's no banners on that one. That's a huge holiday jet just come back from somewhere as Duckett clips this one on the leg side. 29 for 2. End of the over. It's not aeroplane noise, it's music blaring out of the tannoy system. In fact, 30 for 2 at the end of the 4th. So only 6 from that over. A couple of very decent overs from Matthew Fisher. At the same stage, Yorkshire were 33 for 1. Notts are 30 for 2 in comparison.
Music? Is that what you is that what you call it? So 30 for 2, yeah. Nash 13, Duckett on 5. And just, well, the early progress that you expect to see from a Nottinghamshire side, obviously just having to think about it a little bit on account of some decent bowling from Yorkshire and the loss of those 2 big wickets. Alex Hales out for just 4 third ball, and also third ball Joe Clark for 6 in his case. Change of bowling here at the pavilion end. Jordan Thompson coming into the attack for Yorkshire. And he's right arm and around the wicket to the left-handed Ben Duckett, who pushes it up to Joe Root at mid-off. There's no run. Jordan Thompson seen to good effect in T20 cricket with the ball last season, and in red ball cricket, and the opportunities he's been getting this year in the Bob Willis Trophy. Useful chip-ins with both bat and ball more than useful chip in that 98 down here, but this one is pretty much a replica of some of the shots he was playing off Samit Patel. Dispatched over mid-wicket, high, wide and very handsome from Ben Duckett, and a maximum 11 from 9 for him. And Jordan Thompson's delivery disappearing much as he was doing with Samit Patel in the red ball game here. 36 for 2 now, the Outlaws.
It's just where the stand is. Whenever you've got a left-hander at this end, you always seem to fancy they're going to be able to propel it towards there. It's not quite the same when you get a right-hander hitting it into the William Clark for some reason.
No, Thompson in. This time it's wide of off stump. Again, superb piece of fielding this time from Adam Lyth. He's not going to stop the one, but he certainly stopped a boundary. Saves 3 for his team. Out there in the covers, diving to his left. Duckett onto 12 then from 10. Nash 13 from 11 is back on strike, and Knott's now 37 for 2. Halfway through the 5th. Jordan Thompson switches to bowling over the wicket then to the right-hander. He's in now. It's full, but down the leg side. And not given us a wide, so presumably must have clipped the pad on the way through. Not easy to tell.
David Caldecott says the banner says, why pick Joe Denley and not Joe Root in England's T20 squad?
And Root hasn't made the T20 squad, has he?
He's in the ODI squad.
So Thompson in, and this one lofted over straight mid-wicket. It's going to be bouncing 3 times before it disappears over the boundary rope out there in the distance for 4 more. So expensive over so far from Jordan Thompson. He's gone for 11. Still one to come with that big 6 from Ben Duckett, and now another boundary from Chris Nash. 41 for 2. 1 ball left in the 5th over. So just 7 left in these power play overs. Yorkshire have got a man back on the long on boundary. It's Joe Root, and the man back on the deep square leg boundary. Everybody else, of course, inside the circle. That's a good response from Jordan Thompson to finish the over in the end with a Yorker just outside off stump, and Nash content to dig it out. 17 to him, 12 to Duckett. 5 overs gone, and Nottinghamshire 41 for 2.
Yeah, I fancy it was a slower ball as well, which Chris Nash had to just readjust and dig out right at the very end, having been prepared to propel it many a mile if he could. So we're through 5 overs. The power play for Yorkshire ended with them on 53 for 1. So Notts would need 12 runs from this over to get up there in terms of runs, but they're already a wicket worse off. It's going to be Joe Root to bowl his 2nd over. Chris Nash put him away for a couple of boundaries in his 1st over, which went for 8. Root this time from the Radcliffe Road end, round the wicket to the left-hander Duckett, who goes for a slog sweep. He's got it away much finer than he intended. It's running away towards the pavilion fence and will go all the way over the ropes for 4. Duckett improvising from the off and gets Joe Root on the back foot straight away with a boundary. The 2 men out on the leg side for Yorkshire. Root once more bowls again the reverse, and it's hit away on the leg side. He's got under it a little bit, so it's going to plug, won't skip on and reach the ropes, but they will come back for 2. Duckett on to 18, 47 for 2.
Matt Pillen's doing the fielding. Those eagle-eyed among you, he's changed his number this year from 47 to 13.
Next ball, down the leg side, and a long way down the leg side from Joe Root. He was obviously anticipating that Duckett would look to switch it again. This one outfoxes the former Northants man, Ben Duckett, who does well not to just dolly one up there to Thompson at short extra. Root in again. Gone on the reverse. LBW appeal. Ian Ramage, the umpire, says not out. As the throw comes in, they take a leg by. 49 for 2. Duckett has 18, Nash had 17. They both face 14 deliveries.
If it wasn't on the full light, it was pretty close, wasn't it? It was a full-length delivery. Quite difficult to tell whether it just bounced in front of his toe end.
It's tough for the umpire when a left-hander's playing all his shots right-handed, isn't it, as well? It really is. difficult. So Nash on strike, Knots on 49. That's short and just hurried on, just skipped on a little bit to Chris Nash, who wasn't able to get any significant leverage on the ball, but gets the single nonetheless. So 50 up, 50 for 2.
Exactly the same time it took Yorkshire, 5.5 overs.
Next ball is pushed into the offside, and Thompson will field, so that's the end of the power play overs. 50 for 2. Yorkshire at the same stage were 53 for 1.
Yeah, so the contest that we thought we might be seeing before this game got underway is coming to fruition. Nothing in it really, just that one extra wicket for Yorkshire and 3 runs fewer for the Outlaws. And we're going to see Matty Pillans for the first time today, bowling from the pavilion end of the ground. Over number 7. Can be quite sharp, Matthew Pillans. I think he's been clocked at around about 90.
Yeah, one of his first games in this country was for Surrey, or I don't know, where would we be, 4 or 5 years ago now, and he was a bit slippery then, didn't stay long with Surrey, didn't get many opportunities.
Here he comes pounding in then for his first delivery. It's a good one, round about middle and leg. It's turned 2-leg by Chris Nash, and Yorkshire, having set the field back in greater number, have to rely on Matthew Fisher to come charging in from the square leg boundary and field, and keeps them to 1. 51 for 2.
We often talk about how